And we welcome you in courtside here to the Pierce Sports Center in San Bernardino, California. Our third match of the day here in our final regular season weekend of the 2022 campaign. And this right here is the match we've been circling on the calendar for some time. The rematch between New Jersey Freedom, unbeaten on the year at 8-0, as they take on the defending champions, the OC Stunners, coming in at 6-2 on the campaign. The Stunners looking for some redemption after they lost to New Jersey earlier this year on April 10th in a 3-1 battle. This one doesn't have any playoff implications, barring a New Jersey loss to Seattle on Sunday, which none of us see happening. However, bragging rights going to the postseason certainly are on the line. He's Nick England. I'm Ira Thor. Noah Chast is the third member of our crew, and he is standing by with Carlo Edra, the head coach for the unbeaten New Jersey Freedom.
Thank you, Ira. And you said it, I'm here with Carlo Edra, the coach of the New Jersey Freedom. And Carlo, I was just, if you can see by the sweat glands on my face, warming up with the New Jersey Freedom, and a lot of talented players there. What are you hoping you see out of your talented bunch?
I just think more of the same of what we've been doing all season. Just playing, having fun, and just doing what we can do out there.
And I can say having fun is definitely a priority on your team. I learned firsthand. I mean, this is not really playoff implications, but a very serious match with a contender in this league for playoffs. How do you manage and balance that, having fun while being serious and winning games?
Yeah, I think that's kind of been the key to our success this year is we've been playing kind of loose. We've never had to really take it too seriously, and I think that's just the whole thing. It's just play loose and just remember we're playing a game out there, and games are supposed to be fun.
Your team has almost everyone except Matt Seifert. What are you hoping to see out of your mostly full squad?
Again, same thing, just much of the same. It's just, Seif isn't here. Seif is always a big part, but when it comes to our guys, it's always next man up. And, we're just going to prove it today that even Seif's not here, we can still get the job done.
Looking to remain unbeaten, how important are today's match and the next match you have, knowing that you're already well in the playoffs?
I actually don't even think it's even – we haven't been focusing on being undefeated. We're just here to play. I know, like, the playoff thing, it's a good – we're in a good seat right now, but we know seeding is going to be playing an important part here, so we do want to get the wins just so we can – we don't have to play one of the stud teams first round.
So there's no let back at all?
Yeah, absolutely not.
All right, we'll look forward to see it. Coach Carlo Edra of the New Jersey Freedom. Ira, Nick?
Thanks, Noah. And Carlo Edra, the head coach of the Freedom, he may discount the Don Shula-esque nature of his job right now, but New Jersey wins this match. They will be the first team with a victory over Seattle on Sunday. Of course, we don't want to counter chickens just yet, but should they win both matches this weekend, would be the first team in NVA's young history to finish a regular season unbeaten. They right now own the longest winning streak in league history at 8 in a row, but the OC Stunners, they are the defending champions, and I have my concerns today without Matt Seifert in the middle if they are going to be able to slow down this dynamic combination that the OC Stunners have in the middle with Nick West, of course, leading that charge.
Yeah, it's certainly something to keep an eye on. And, when we saw this matchup last, Team Freedom has had the majority of their roster. And at the time when they squared off at event number 1, that means we weren't seeing the likes of Corey Chavers. I believe Joey Jarvis was not yet even here. So it was basically Matt Hilling, Josh Nels being used on the outside, and Jair Santiago. So a bit of kind of a skeleton crew for the OC Stunners.
And it was also a different Jair Santiago. He started the year rather cold and has come on of late.
Yeah, so there's a lot more pieces that are really clicking on all cylinders there. So, this is far from an easy you can't look at the records and say, oh, yeah, this is going to go the way of Freedom. I think there's a lot of experience and veteranship on both sides. But right now, I think that when we talked about it in the pregame, your X factor was you look at the absence of Matt Seifert, where, for me, I look at the presence of international experience. When you go to guys like Matt Hilling, when you go to guys like Jair Santiago, they've played with the national teams for the U.S., for Puerto Rico. Corey Chavers has played in the top leagues in the world in Italy. Like, they've been in the spotlight, and that's different. That's why this Stunners squad is an X factor.
Well, the reason that this team is able to play so well together and not have any of those international experiences have any kind of tension on the court is the leadership of their head coach. He is also the 4th member of our crew, and that is Matt Prosser, Mr. International Coach of the Stunners, joined alongside Noah Chast.
Yeah, you said it, Ira. Matt Prosser, Mr. International, here with your OC Stunners, and your team is heating up at the right time, but you're a little short-handed today. What are you expecting out of this short-handed group?
Well, I still expect maximum effort, right? And regardless of who's here personnel for us, I mean, like a lot of the teams, everyone's a little thin. You know, we have our starting core. We've got a good group. And I expect them to go all out and try to get this win.
This is an undefeated team, a team that handed you one of your 2 only losses. What are you expecting to see from the Freedom?
Well, they're a good team. They're 8-0 for a reason, right? They're undefeated. They've got some good middles. They've got some big pins. And they run a very good offense. They've been playing together for a long time, and so they're very comfortable on the court with each other, and they're well coached. So I expect a battle, you know, a serious back and forth, and it should be a very...
That's twice today. It's another one right in the face.
Pretty sure that was Joe Norman or Paul Bolonzik.
Joe, come on. He's mad I put on his headband earlier.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were saying before you were rudely interrupted by these uncontrollable New Jersey Freedom teammates.
Well, I was saying it's going to be a very tight game.
And without giving away too much out of the Matt Prosser playbook, how do you take down a team that seems so well-rounded?
Well, you know, we have some weapons too. It's really about how well we play together and how well we handle some good volleyball from the opponent. You know, it's just volleyball at the end of the day. We don't have to do anything special. We just play our brand of volleyball and set the bar at a place that we expect to play at, and you know, hopefully we'll pull off the victory.
Awesome. Well, best of luck, Coach. I'm gonna go ice my face because I've been out hitting the head twice today in 10 minutes.
Sorry about that.
Bad luck. I hope you have better luck in this match.
Thank you. Me too.
Coach Matt Prosser of the OC Stunners.
I am concerned. I feel as if the medical professionals in the building should put Noah under concussion protocol right now. Where's the doctors? We can't allow him to be walking around, and he's already had 2 concussions today. I mean, that can cause some long-term damage. We need Noah for the 2022 playoffs, maybe even 2023 if, you know, he's not decapitated between now and then.
If he's still standing. Well, man, that's you know, great to see him getting into the action today.
We're not laughing at you. We're laughing with you.
I'm laughing at you. I'll be very direct about it. But when I look at the actual matchups here in terms of what I expect today, I think across the board, it's funny how very similar the personnel are in stature, but as well as the way they play the game. I think the one thing that's going to be the big X factor is how these outsides show up. Canadian outside Joey Jarvis won't be here this weekend, but man, when you have Matt Hilling and Corey Chavers as the other 2 outsides, I was joking with Coach Prosser earlier. I don't know where you make your decision on who's starting. You know, that's 3 outsides that they're all-stars on international teams. It's, you know, how do you pick 2?
Well, we have all-stars on both of these teams, as these are 2 of the most highly regarded teams in the league that will have players playing tomorrow night in our inaugural NVA All-Star game. But of note, you mentioned that Joey Jarvis is not here. Jarvis has been in the 0-2 spot all year because of his ball control. He also would have normally been the player that would be matched up against the top right side, which is Joe Norman. In this case, however, well, Matt Hilling, who's been in the 0-1 spot all year, will now shift to that 0-2 spot because he is the better ball control between him and Corey Chavers, and then he will then have the difficult task of being matched up with Big Joe Norman, who helped carry New Jersey their last time out. Remember, Ian Cap, Seifert, and company were not available for our Father's Day event, and due to that, Joe Norman was carrying an even heavier burden than normal, although they were still able to beat the LA Blaze in 4 and had much easier time with the Colorado Kraken than we expected as they improved to 8-0 on the year. We'll take a look at the starting lineups for this one as these teams get set to take a court, and we'll get a look here out on the court as these teams do line up. But for the OC Stunners, Randy Ramirez will be your setter, wearing number 27. Jair Santiago is your right side and wearing number 15. As we mentioned, Matt Hilling's the 0-2, wearing number 18. Corey Chavers, number 6, is your other outside in the 0-1 spot. Your middle 1, Nick West, number 9. And Shane Beamer, your middle 2, wearing number 3. The reliable Dylan Shigakawa, number 25, is the libero for the defending champion OC Stunners. For the unbeaten New Jersey Freedom, it'll be Matt Elias setting number 13. Big Joe Norman is the right side wearing number 16. Ian Cap, number 4, is your 0-2, very involved in the passing game. Tim Ferreter is your 0-1. He is an all-star as well, voted in by the fans. Meanwhile, well, without Seifert, that's going to put even more pressure on Thomas Burrell to get involved in the blocking game, one of the top blockers in the league as it is, wearing number 18. He's the middle one. And the 7-footer tall Paul Balantic, number 3, is your middle 2 with Ryan Alou, the libero, number 5.
So really quick to contextualize, when I was talking about All-Stars earlier, I was talking about, on their contributions, their international teams. We've blurred that into the conversation that's the talk of the weekend, and that's the NBA inaugural All-Star match, and that's the American Conference taking on the National Conference. If you want to see those rosters, be sure to check out our social media platforms where you can see exactly what teams are involved. To give you a quick rundown, Coach Carlo Edra will actually be heading up the National Conference as was voted in by the National Conference teams. Other representatives will be Ryan Alou, Matt Elias, Joe Norman, Ian Cap, and fan vote Tim Ferreter, who was selected over Corey Chavers as well as Joey Jarvis. On the side of the Stunners, Nick West and Shane Beamer are both on that squad, accompanied as well by... I guess that's going to do it from the Stunners right now. Oh, no, Matt Hilling as well on the outside. So they'll have 3 contributing as well. So while they play against each other right now, they will be teammates tomorrow night at 7 o'clock here on the NBA channel on YouTube. So be sure to tune in and check that out. It's going to be a great time. But with that, Ira, we are about to get underway.
Again, this match doesn't mean anything towards the playoffs, barring a colossal collapse for New Jersey, but it certainly means something in the bragging rights. Nick and I both picked the OC Stunners in our pregame predictions at the NBA Today pregame show earlier this morning. Noah Chess trying to make up some room. He's the only one of the 4 of us that took New Jersey. First time I picked against the Freedom all year, so we will see if that comes back to bite me as Corey Chavers with a well-disguised roll falls in for the kill.
And Ira, I picked the Freedom, the only one, and I still get hit in the face with the ball.
Twice.
So, no loyalties out there.
Well, now we know how they really feel about your face. Here's Corey Chavers to serve. And that's put away by the fan favorite Tim Ferreter.
Nice use of the outside hand there of Matt Hilling.
I can't wait to see this video, though, of you in practice. You have this big welt on your forehead. So I don't know if it was caused by walking into a door frame or into a jump serve by somebody who hits it 100 miles an hour.
Well, I'm not going to say where it hit, but I will tell you an ups and up.
Santiago puts it away. Jair Santiago has been a player that, again, through his career in the NBA has kind of been up and down, but in the last event, he was up the whole time. In fact, a play that we even put up for SportsCenter for top 10, one of the biggest kills you'll ever see in the Tornadoes match. The Stunners have won 5 in a row since losing back-to-back matches to the Freedom and the Tyrants, and none of those have gone past 4. They've beaten the Stingers in 3, the Kraken and the Blaze in 4, the Untouchables in 3. They absolutely dominated that match and held off a valiant Tornado squad their last time out on June 18th to win in 4 sets. So they're playing their best volleyball this time of the year. New Jersey's been playing their best volleyball all year. This goes to Joe Norman. First chance to swing today, and he puts it away.
Right now, it's the stories of the right sides. We saw Jair Santiago in the last bit of that get a nice block on the right side for Stunners. And after putting a big swing over the head of Ian Cap, that mismatch in size will definitely be one to keep an eye on. But Joe Norman wasting no time to get a kill of his own.
A little too deep there by tall Paul Balantic. And on the service there, it'll be Jair Santiago, your server.
Jair's always a jump server, but the way in which he approaches on the service line has changed a bit from time to time during the middle of the season in terms of improving consistency. He was hitting some off-speed jump serves that has since kind of improved to just full speed all time. So we'll see what he goes for here if he's feeling warm and ready to go after it.
He had one ace in the win against the Tornadoes the last time. Good serve by Ferreter. And Tom Burrell, wow, quick work.
Ferreter got everything he wanted out of that pass there. That was a great, great stick.
So here's Big Joe Norman. Norman, one of the top scorers in the NVA. He ranks second in the league in scoring, only behind Felix Chapman. Jordan Hoppe has missed the last few events, so
last
had
event
him
he'll be out
fall
this
out of
event.
that lead. And Hoppe, I don't believe, is with us this weekend as well.
Correct.
They go to Cap, and he sticks it through for the kill.
You remove the 6'10 blocker from Ian Cap and have him going up against Randy Ramirez. That size difference is all but gone.
Listen,
Huge
all
swing.
you need to say is Ian Cap and I are the same height.
One of these things is not like the IRA. one of these things not like the other.
I can't do that even on a trampoline. And Ian Cap is, and that is the difference. He gets more out of his athleticism than maybe any player in the NBA. Run down by Norman after the touch by Elias, and Ferreter swings away. I like the aggressiveness. He was able to backpedal to at least get something on it and just misfired a little too long.
It's funny. One of the things you look at when you talk, a little bit more in depth about the game, the position of opposite. I look at Joe Norman and Jair Santiago. Your opposite is kind of your battering ram. They're going to get a lot of sets, a lot of points, a lot of big swings. And sometimes their defense isn't what you write home about, to be polite about it. And so both these guys are kind of funny in that way, that their defensive moves are not always the best, but man, can they swing with the best of them. So this is going to be very fun to watch these two kind of trading punches.
Cap leaves that one short after putting away his second kill a moment ago. And Cap also has obviously missed a bunch of time this year, but still has 81 total points scored on the season. Cap is 19th in the NBA in scoring, even with missed action. Had a 25 kill performance earlier this year, and there's a huge triple block. Nick West, Corey Chavers leading that one with Randy Ramirez, as that is the stunner wall that we were afraid of. Beamer to serve, 1 point lead for the Stunners. Oh, Tom Burrell destroys it. Great set there by Elias on a ball that was going to carry into the net.
Yeah, that's a tough spot to be in based on where West was lined up. If he doesn't jump, Elias sees him and just dumps that ball straight down. But if he does, then, a good read by Elias there. Feeds the middle, Burrell. And rewarded for a masterful pass from the man in blue, Ryan Alou.
That rhymes.
Yeah, it does.
Here's Corey Chavers, goes deep. Norman off balance, couldn't get it. Corey Chavers with his second kill, side out. Stunners.
That's that ball I talked about a little bit earlier. Should be easier more than difficult to make that read, but Norman not quite ready for it to come down, and a quick recognition of a smaller block. Corey Chavers makes that point easy.
And that is a stuff down as Corey Chavers and Nick West pick up their second blocks. So Ramirez to serve, 9-7 is your score. A little miscommunication for a second. Norman with the dump to allow everybody to reset. They go to Chavers. Dug up by Cap. Ferreter swinging away, and he got the result. And here is Matt Elias with a chance to tie. Nick West able to beat Ian Cap in the back corner. His first kill of this match along with 2 blocks.
Shigekawa got everything he wanted there, made that very easy for Andy Ramirez. Both these teams love getting their middles involved early. They're going to waste no time.
Left short by Chavers. And talk about the play of Shigekawa. I think we can make an argument that he's been one of the most underrated players in the NBA this year, not just at the libero position, but overall. He's come in, had huge shoes to fill in the absence of Eisenberg this year, and has played great. He's been consistent, hasn't made a lot of mistakes.
Nope.
Everything you want out of libero.
He's a product of Moorpark Community College and played his college ball at UC Irvine on the club team with me, where we got 2nd in the nation. So he's actually competed with several NBA teams, but never officially on a roster or on the court. And this was the year that the Stunners needed him to step up. So he's done a great job for them all season long.
Good pass by Cap. They go back set to Joe Norman. And he missed wide unless there was a touch, and there was not. And Norman believes there was a touch. Carlo Edra believes there was a touch. He draws a picture of the TV screen to the official, as we apparently have abandoned the green replay cards the rest of the year. And we will review this one 12-9.
And Ira, from my perspective, I'm seeing what Norman's saying. It looked like it went off Shane Beamer's hands on the inside. I saw Hilling put up the hands. I didn't touch it. Beamer, was a little quiet, playing the poker face, just went down and walked back to the huddle. So we'll see what you can pick up on the video evidence.
And I kind of saw the same thing as you, but being that I'm kind of looking through the camera, I wasn't as confident as you are. So we'll see what this replay shows. Definitely wasn't in. We know that. So it's a matter of whether there was a touch.
They're just cycling through to get that right view. You know, based on where I was sitting, I wish I'd had a better viewpoint, but didn't really.
We're not going to be able to see it here from this angle.
There it is.
Carlo Edger's won a majority of his challenges this year for New Jersey, so we'll see if he has the same success. So we're looking at the middle, number 3, Shane Beamer. Is there a touch?
Right now it's just suspended between the blocker, it looks like.
That's just magic. Yeah, absolutely a touch, 100%. As you see the left index finger of Beamer bounce back.
Shane Beamer's on the net trying to get this sped up, sitting here saying, I touched the ball. So confirmation, we can sit here and stare at it all day long, but
that was
nothing quite
as
effective as Shane Beamer admitting I touched it.
And Shane Beamer wins the Coming Clean Award.
Well, the initial poker face may have backfired. He thought, all right, maybe they won't call it, and they challenged, and he's seeing the delay it's causing. He's all right, let's wrap this up, everyone. I touched it.
Yeah. Actually, I take it back. It wasn't the index finger, it was the middle finger.
You know, Ira, that might be it. It might be time to grab some glasses. If you can't tell that based on the image you're looking at there.
Well, it gives new definitions to giving the middle finger to the ball.
Well, it's a great challenge there. Joe Norman knew what he was swinging for, knew what he caught. So, once again, a great case to be made there for exactly why we use that challenge system.
And Carla Edra wins another challenge. New Jersey cuts this, instead of a 3-point deficit, down to just 1. And won nearly 8 up. Shigekawa Hilling able to tool the block for his first kill of the afternoon.
2-point lead here for the Stunners, 12-10.
And that's left short by future Papa Jair Santiago. He and his wife, who's the head coach of the Inland Empire Matadors, expecting their first shot, I believe, in September, a month after the season comes to a close. Norman, your server, left it short. So side out OC.
Matt jokingly mentioned this morning, Nick, did someone come in and raise the nets? And at the time, I thought it was just some not great serving between our, the Tyrants and the Untouchables. But now I'm not too sure. Maybe it was raised a bit.
Raise it another foot. Tom Burrell will still do that as he picks up his third kill. And, they needed somebody to step up in the absence of Seifert. Burrell, more known for his blocking, certainly is at that one ball down. Perfectly timed with Elias. And here's Cap, your server. Nice serve from Cap. Ramirez goes to Corey Chavers. Oh, and right through the hands of Cap for another Corey kill. His third. Now the last match, we saw yet another Herculean effort out of Felix Chapman, unofficially, as we are keeping stats here on the broadcast today rather than on the computer as normal. 29 kills for Chapman, and they still were not able to beat the Utah Stingers. Big swing, may come over on one. It's going to stay there. Burrell with the block back. This time they go to Chavers with the roll, recognized by Cap. Norman swinging away, and I don't believe there's a touch that time. That's just an error.
That was just a hitting error indeed. That first swing dug beautifully by Matt Hilling turned into an in-transition swing for Nick West. And now 3-point lead for the Stunners.
15-12 with Shane Beamer, the honest middle. Serving away. And honesty has its rewards. You tell the truth and the ball will reward you. Dancing off the tape for a OC Stunner Ace, which sends us to our technical timeout here in game number 1. Stunners on top, 16-12. Come back for more. Back here courtside, Shane Beamer after the dancing ace. His team up 4 will serve away. This time they go to Ferreter, and he's able to tool the block. His third kill for the side out.
A good answer back there, much needed at that time from Ferreter. Don't want to fall behind by 5.
Ramirez goes to Corey Chambers, reach out and stuff someone. Tall Paul Bolondic and Matt Elias with the rejection.
I think one of my favorite things is just watching his energy, but also knowing that he's a lawyer practicing in Chicago. So every time I see that block, I'm like, that ferocity is representing people in real estate litigation, and that is one of my absolute favorite things.
Norman with a diving dig. Ferreter, that gets blocked back. Ferreter down the line. That's why the fans love him.
Nice defensive step in there by Tom Burrell. So many of these New Jersey guys not only play indoor, but also play plenty of grass and sand as well. Well-rounded players. Not just another back row middle.
Chavers swinging away. Cap. That one will carry towards the bench. Norman is there. It's going to go over. And will they reset in time with the block? Doesn't matter because Cap, all he needs is one arm for the dig. And he'll dump this deep, forcing Chigakawa to backpedal. Hilling says enough of this nonsense and puts it away.
Man, that one arm stab there from Ian Cap. What a heck of a move.
Norman swinging away and getting the result, his third kill. Here's Elias going to Cap from the back row and gets the touch as you saw that one sail away.
Wow, Freedom answers back brilliantly, down by 4 into that technical timeout, and they've now outscored the Stunners 5-1, tying this up here at 17 apiece.
That's why this was a very difficult match for me to pick against the Freedom, but I mean, how can you go wrong? Both these teams are great. They go to Corey Chambers down the line. Alou got enough of it to allow Ferreter to save it. And a free ball that Chigakawa has to run down. And Santiago on an impossible angle. No touch, no court. And New Jersey has stormed all the way back and they've taken the lead.
Man, that's one of those tough balls that came back short there because they're in the rotation that they're in. Chigakawa having to come all the way across. Pick that up for Corey Chambers.
Jump float by Elias. They go to Santiago and he finds the back line. Tied at 18. So Corey Chambers, one of the most important players last year in their championship run, has seen limited action this year, but he's certainly going to be a big part of their run again this year. Joe Norman swinging from the outside. Ping-pongs through.
Nick West turning and trying to find that quickly, but just not able to do so. Good kill from Norman.
And an ace! Tim Ferreter unleashes, and New Jersey has worked itself in front 20-18, and Coach Matt Prosser will call timeout. We'll take a quick break, come back for the conclusion of Game 1. Back here courtside after the New Jersey Freedom have shown their resilient selves as they've been all year. Down 3, have able to race back to now lead by 2 and put these Stunners on their heels, which you haven't seen too much this season. Ferreter's already unleashed an ace. Does he have another one? That's going to come over on 1, and Ian Capitz.
Never want to be the guy getting the overpass in a situation like this, but to earn it off of the libero speaks to how big of a serve that was from Ferreter.
And that's the end of the run as this sails too long. So an important side out, down 2, as Nick West, who, well, as a middle, is one of the top all-around servers in the league. Can he bring them closer? Good serve. Pass, has to say, by Alou, and that will clip the antenna as Cap misfires for the first time. So West now with a chance to tie it.
Both these teams, just the smallest little runs, 1 point, 2 point. They're fighting for everything right now. Both teams looking in great form and hoping this one goes the distance.
And West, we've talked about his service ability. Shake that hair as he ties it up 21-21. And New Jersey, Carlo Edra going to call a timeout. Nick West, his 14th ace of the year. That is second in the league behind Jordan Hoppe, who's probably not going to get caught as he's sitting on 23 aces overall. And even without Hoppe being here this weekend, I don't see anybody, picking up another 10. So we'll keep it here. New Jersey talking this over. By the way, this might be the tallest or the biggest differential between coaches' heights in NBA history. We have Matt Prosser, Mr. Worldwide, Mr. International, 6'7". Played his collegiate volleyball at Long Beach State, where he still holds the single match record, 16 blocks back in 1997. Good luck for anybody to ever break that.
Yeah, that helped that they were probably still inside-out scoring at the time, so you have a little bit more time.
Still, Carlo Edra, who's about 5'6", who was the 3-year starting libero at the school where he now coaches, New Jersey City University. Borderline Hall of Fame player at libero for the Gothic Knights. So we're talking about 13 inches between them. But they both have great volleyball minds, and that's all that matters.
Joe Norman, the option there, and misses that swing that he was able to get the touch on Beamer earlier. Does not get it here. And that's going to be the 1 point lead at 22-21. Nick West seeing if he can extend the service rally one more time.
3-point run for the Stunners. Jersey trying to tie it back up. Alou had to lay out again. This time it's Cap. That one's going to clip off the ceiling. This is a friendly bounce for Nick West. And sent over by Santiago. This time, Joe Norman. And he's able to stick it through everyone. Joe Norman, his 5th kill. We're even at 22. Substitution here for New Jersey as Matt Buffum will will come in for Paul Balanzik here to serve. Buffon has proven to be a capable server as well. And nearly lands that one. And this will be dumped over by Chavers. Chance for New Jersey to counter. They go to Burrell, and he does bad things. The offense for New Jersey has been spread out. 5 kills for Norman, Cap, Ferreter, and Burrell with 4 apiece. And Matt Prosser will use his final timeout. New Jersey has scored 2 in a row, leading 23-22. We'll take our final timeout here in Game 1 and be back for more. Back here courtside as the OC Stunners come out of their timeout.
Yeah, so what's taking a little bit longer here, Matt Hilling is in the back getting taped up. That big swing from Joe Norman there caught him on the finger, and he has all his fingers taped. I think something took an unfriendly bounce or ricochet off of that, and so he's getting a little bit of tape work fixed up right there.
He was grimacing as he came away from the trainer. So certainly that's bothering him, but we've seen players all year play through injuries. Look at what Gianluca Grasso did for the Texas Tyrants today. He certainly was not 100% and muscled through it. As Buffum continues to serve. They go to Santiago, and he's able to hit it off of is that the head?
Hard to tell. It looked like the outside of an arm, I think, there, but you could tell me a head, and I would believe it. A nice recognition, though, there by Randy Ramirez, seeing the smaller double block of Burrell as well as Cap. And, you know, Burrell flies, but still, in terms of actual stature, that's a great size mismatch. Let Santiago use all of that before he heads back row.
Well, Santiago serves 23 all. Looked like a foot fault to me. Tom Burrell says no replay necessary. Kill number 5, and this is set point for New Jersey.
Yeah, we unfortunately have 2 sets of lines. He was all over the blue, but good on the black. That's what it was there, but yeah, he was using every bit of square footage there.
He used every inch available to him. Joe Norman will serve.
I saw the same thing, and I was like, oh man, are we about to lose?
Hilling cross court gets the line, and we'll play into extra points. His 3rd kill, it's 24 all, and Hilling will serve. That one will sail into Anaheim. Set point number 2 coming up for New Jersey.
Hilling looks like he is feeling it in his hand over there, trying to, whatever it caught him. I don't know if it was just a finger. But Joe Norman puts the pace on the ball, so if it catches you wrong, you're feeling it. But
Cap returns the favor as that one sails long. 25-25. This will be the 2nd set that goes into extra points today. It'll be highly unlikely we'll match what happened in the first match of the day. As we saw the Chicago Untouchables and the Texas Tyrants played a 41-39 in Game 3. That's an all-time NBA record for longest individual set. Norman swinging away. One-handed stab by Beamer. And it's dumped over.
Oh, useful spot.
Here's Ferreter swinging away, and it's going to collect off the high hands for a winner. And this will be the 3rd set point opportunity for New Jersey. 26-25. Tom Burrell, the Stevens graduate. Might be one of the smartest players on the court just based on his collegiate academics. Here's Corey Chavers. Oh, and stabbed over by Ferreter. And a useful spot. Corey Chavers with the kill to tie it at 26.
This morning, Matt and I were talking about the importance of when you have a size mismatch, that is exactly when you want a tight set. And they give Corey Chavers plenty of space there. He's able to throw that one down over Matt Elias.
Ramirez with the serve. They go to Ferreter. Reach out and stuff someone. Nick West, Jair Santiago. And set point now belongs to OC.
You want to talk about big boy blocks. There it is. Huge move to the outside. Nick West, one of the best middle blockers in the league. Statistically, he is just an absolute phenom. Getting all the way out there to Jair Santiago. That's a huge statement block for the right side. We got a quick timeout. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Back here, set point for the Stunners will wait because Paul Belantic, his first kill of the evening. And we will play on at 27. Nick West with the answer, so this will be set point number 2 for OC.
Man, I just love the mini games going on right now. Neither team wanting their middle to be outdone.
And this will be Corey Chavers, 28-27. No. Did Nick West just get hit in the back?
Back of the hand, yeah.
Back of the hand. He's got another.
It's his left hand. It's not that important.
Yeah, it's a flesh wound anyway. Here's Tim Ferreter, 28 all. And he left that one short. So these guys trying to score points off their serves, unable to uncork one. And this will be Nick West, a dangerous server, second leading ace man in the NBA, trying to take game 1. This will go to at least 30 points. And he ends it with his second ace of the set. And the OC Stunners rally from behind in a first game that was a seesaw battle. 30-28, the Stunners lead 1-0. That is as good as volleyball as you will ever see. And ultimately, the Stunners will it out. We'll take a break, come back for game number 2 live here from the Pierce Sports Center in San Bernardino. And we're back here courtside as the OC Stunners rallied all the way back to take down New Jersey in game 1. That was a test of wills more than anything. High quality volleyball. And you know, Nick, you pointed out something when we were off the air about Nick West. He was able to not only will the Stunners back, he was able to go all the way back, serve again, and end it.
Yeah, there was so much scoring exchange side outs, and we went so far into that. Nick West served, I believe, 2 times after the game would have been over. That was pretty impressive to see just how back and forth those 2 teams were, and he picked up some critical aces there. So definitely someone to keep an eye on here as we continue forward. But what a great match. We were talking about the consistency of some teams in some earlier matches today. That is the kind of 30-28 volleyball I want to see.
We'll see if these Stunners have it. A little bit more steam in the tank as they got off to a slower start in the first set. And Matt Hilling able to pick up his 4th kill to get the Stunners on the board first. We've talked about this a number of other broadcasts with the Stunners involved, but Matt Hilling's importance to this team has greatly expanded this year. And that's not to say that he wasn't important last year, as all these guys have been stars on their own teams wherever they've been. But last year, he was more in a role.
Yeah.
Role player type role.
I totally agree with you. And I think that, he just played a season over in Israel. Had I believe the team finished either 3rd or 4th, and he was definitely a leader on that squad. And I think that you can see some of those leadership skills were able to develop a bit for him as he's come back this season, and it's put him a little bit more in the limelight at times. And also, I've played with and known Matt for the better part of a decade now. This guy is one of the most willing players on the court. There are a few players that do it better in terms of just finding ways to win. So 3 points down, the Stunners coming back to make that little push there. Guys like him, that's why I never count them out. They are so scary for that reason.
Yeah, again, Corey Chavers and Joey Jarvis had so much more of a workload last year. That was part of the reason that Hilling was allowed to be that utility guy who did a little bit of everything, as he gets a big dig here off the block back. Jair Santiago with the swing. Chance for New Jersey to get back up, and that is down the line with authority by Ian Cap. Randy Ramirez, who was standing on the line, says, no way, that was out, and they are going to challenge this one. I couldn't tell directly based on the fact that we have a barricade in front of us, so perhaps this wasn't in. We'll find out.
Yeah, one of the interesting things that really goes on here. So, two points, and this seems very trivial, so if you've been around the volleyball world, apologies. But if you're a little bit newer to the game, this is some little nuance. So the ball has to touch the line, obviously, but something to keep your eye on is the ball compression will actually sometimes change whether or not the ball's on the line. So that could play a role here. It won't on that angle, but again, I think we've got a couple of camera angles, so switching it up. And the next thing to look at is also that sometimes the ball looks in when you're looking top down, but the ball may not actually be in contact with the line. That's a great call by Randy Ramirez. That ball is out, if I'm seeing that correct.
Look where his right foot is. He has that basically line straddled and allowed him to read it well. That is line defense at its finest. We'll look at this one more time, slowing it down.
Wow, the curve on that.
Yeah, oh, wow. Just to get around Jair Santiago by itself is insane. Just watch the English on this swing by Cap. There's Santiago's hands, curls it.
That's out. Yeah, I don't see any compression on line.
I don't see that ball. The very inner eighth of the ball, maybe, but I think that's out.
It's very close. The fact that Randy was this confident to make the call is impressive.
Especially for a ball coming at you that fast. We're going to get one more look at it. I don't think this angle...
Yeah, this is not the angle.
That other angle, we were looking straight through.
And this one won't tell us either.
Backside of our line judge, Rena Smith.
They just want to make sure they're being thorough and seeing everything. Oh, zoom it in from cross court, see if still looks like it's outside. Not sure that this is going to be the best angle either, but just using everything that they got.
If this doesn't work, we could always go to the drone. I mean, from that angle,
I don't know. That's hard to tell. Shadows. When that's like 4 megapixels right there. There's not a lot of definition. Maybe, I don't know.
Street lights. What do we have here, Mr. England?
I don't know. I wouldn't be using that angle if it was me. When I look down the line, I think we had
Shane Beamer, Josh Nels feel as if that was an angle that they did not want to see be used, but ultimately the officials say the ball clipped the line. The last tenth of the ball, maybe?
And Nick and Ira, if you can hear me, I was up here at the replay center watching it, and from that first view, it looked like it was just out, but the frame rate, you couldn't get it paused on a moment sitting outside the line on contact. The other angle, you could frame it, and while it was much blurrier, maybe a bit of shadow, but it was able to pause with the ball looking in the court.
Well, Matt Hilling, not pleased with the outcome of that replay, takes it over at the net.
Interesting. Well, that's great to know. I mean, that is one of the I'd rather have that problem with our challenge system where we're getting down to if the frame is there as opposed to not having the challenge system. But that's why we have Mike Mon, our head official, looking at that up top. The man's been in a position to see situations like this for a long time. So trust his eyes to make sure that when we call it down, we get the right call and play continues.
Dangerous Nick West, your server. Ian Cap. And Randy Ramirez this time ducks, so there's no replay needed. And an error by Cap, side out, stays with the Stunners. They lead now 4-3 and 1-0. And that is left short. This is a National Conference Coastal Division matchup between the first and second place teams. New Jersey Freedom 8-0. They've of course won 8 in a row. The OC Stunners, the defending champions, are 6-2. They've won 5 in a row. If the Stunners win this match, beat Seattle, as that will fall into the corner for an ace for Joe Norman. But if New Jersey loses this match to the Stunners and somehow the shockers happen and they lose to the 1-7 Seattle Sasquatch, and the Stunners win both matches this weekend, they still, depending on how tiebreakers work out, could conceivably win the National Coastal. If New Jersey wins today, it's over. Oh man, Shane Beamer takes some anger out on the ball.
You want to talk about it being over? That's a big swing out of the middle. Number 3. Back in 2020, he was the top middle in Denmark. Apologies, that was 2021, didn't head back this season. And after he left, Ryan Madler from the Las Vegas Ramblers headed over and took on the top scoring title. So NBA athletes have been taking top titles over there.
Ian Cap, that one's blocked back. Burrell gets shut down. Shane Beamer with the solo stuff.
What's crazy to think is we've seen Shane Beamer having such a stellar season. He was the 3rd middle on this team last year behind Nick Amato, the Long Beach State legend. Now not competing this season. Shane Beamer has wasted no time getting involved on the court.
Norman, that is collected here by Shaver. Santiago, and Alou, I think, had to make a reach, as that might have gotten fingers at the net.
A little bit of chaos there. Randy got such a good read that he didn't see that Shigikawa was coming through, and that led to Chavers having to take second ball there, but Chavers did a nice job fixing that one.
Santiago clips the net. Elias and Ian Cap this time sticked it through for the winner. And the New Jersey side out, down 1. Here's Ian Cap to serve. Cap with 6 aces on the season in part-time role. Corey Chavers, that's blocked back. And then come over on one, and Tom Burrell causes the blocking error and gets the kill. We complimented Chigakawa all year, but that was not a good pass.
No.
Burrell will capitalize on that probably 98% of the time.
Yeah, you gotta be able to take care of that free ball there. He knows it.
And New Jersey evens it at 7. Cap with the ace, splitting Chavers and Chigakawa.
Man, he got a hold of that one. Number 4 earned that point.
That is ace number 7 on the year. And Cap is approaching 100 total points on the season. Oh, back-to-back, Ian Cap. And now they're picking on Chigakawa. They're going after that slot between him and Chavers until the stunners here find a solution. That one forces Ramirez to have to make a run, and they are very, very lucky that Beamer was able to make something out of it.
Good space off the net, but he brought Ramirez all the way across the court. And you see the hard work there. Number 3 getting paid for his work.
Here's Hilling. And Burrell with the answer. And well disguised by Corey Chavers as he gets to kill his 5th. And they trade points now, 1-point deficit for the Stunners. That one bounces off the net. Bolonzic can't save it. And mark down the ace for the OC Stunners.
That's both of these middles, Beamer and West, doing some damage from the service line here.
They got 3 aces between the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Shane Beamer does so much for the league off the court. Like, nice to see him have success on the court. Ferreter, that is collected. And Ramirez tries to dump it over, but misfires. Really didn't have too many options there. That was real tight to the net.
Yeah, that was tight. I think he was hoping for maybe some more hands to be up there, but didn't quite get what he was looking for.
So Matt Elias, lucky number 13, the former Juniata All-American. Corey Chavers off the hands of Elias. This will be sent over after saved by Cap. Over on 2. New Jersey read that one. Oh, and Paul Bolonzic doesn't even have to jump. Ferreter with the save, and then Paul Bolonzic basically windmills it straight down. His 2nd kill. Bolonzic and Ian Cap both played for the Chicago Untouchables a year ago. They were acquired in the offseason. And what additions to this team they have made. (12-10) lead for New Jersey. Trying to bounce back from a 30-28 loss in game 1. Corey Chavers dug up by Tall Paul. Bolonzic swings away. Here's Corey Chavers. That's blocked back, covered by Ramirez. Chavers down the line. New Jersey playing some fine defense. Oh! Chigakawa digs up from Joe Norman. that stuff down. This is all the answer. Randy Ramirez ends the best rally of the match.
Randy Ramirez, what a swing. The fact that he just found a way around the block. Wow, what a rally. Both teams just absolutely scrapping for that.
A point that nobody wanted to lose. And then everybody's so tired they forgot how to serve.
My least favorite way to follow the first, the former point. Oh, man.
Here is Tim Ferreter, another former Stevens Duck, and he lands the ace, his second.
You were talking about the seam earlier between Shigekawa and Chavers, and it's continuing to be exploited here.
Tim Ferreter, who's also missed some time this year due to the other obligations. 2 aces today. He's in double figures on the season. That's his 10th. And this one sails long. Corey Chavers. Big serve. Still looking for his first ace of the season.
Oh, man, that almost came so fast that it hit Cap, but he was able to dodge out of the way. Paul Blonzik with some room to work with here. A 3-point lead for Freedom.
Goes deep after Shigekawa hilling the swing. And he gets the side out, his 6th kill.
Man, these teams are throwing just absolute haymakers right now at each other.
You know, when you have a battle of the behemoths, that's what you're going to get. These are unquestionably 2 of the top 4 teams in the league. Clearly, the Freedom have claims to that argument right now as the lone unbeaten, as they've been through the last 3 events. And the Stunners riding the 2nd longest winning streak at 5 in a row. And they're the defending champions, but New Jersey with a 16-13 lead on the kill by Norman will send us to a technical timeout here in Game 2. Back for more. Back here courtside after the technical timeout, Joe Norman picks up his 8th kill, and he'll drop back to serve. Jersey trying to build upon a 3-point lead midway through game number 3, or number 2, I should say. Santiago with the roll. Cap got the touch for the kill, his 7th.
(17-13). Norman got an ace the last time he was back to serve. One more right now would put them in a great driver position, but a missed toss has to manage to serve.
Yeah, good call there as Norman misfired on the toss. Norman, however, able to bring this one back after the touch by Ferreter. Chance for the Stunners to capitalize. Corey Chavers in the back row, gonna come over on one. Big time dig from Alou. And wow, after all that, Beamer with the misfire and the defense from New Jersey paying off. What a dig by Alou on a ball that looks certain to hit the court.
Yeah. Shigekawa struggling. Another free ball there. Puts that one too tight for Randy. Forces a one-handed set. Those are the ones he wants back, and you got to be able to clean it up.
This is what happens when we compliment liberos.
Yep.
We got to keep our feelings to ourselves. Here's Joe Norman again. Matt Hilling is blocked back. Burrell and Elias with the rejection. And New Jersey has expanded a lead to 6. See if Norman can get a better toss out of this one. Better toss, worse result.
Well, anytime that you go back and extend your point lead while you're on the service line, I chalk it up to a success. So even though he misses that one short, Norman doing his job. Credit where credit is due. Santiago now has some work to do for the Stunners.
Cannon from Santiago.
Double.
And Ramirez and Elias both went up for the joust, and it was a double on Elias. I think they are questioning whether there was a
foot fault. They're questioning a foot fault from Santiago's serve, but once again, I think it was definitively a blue line, not the black. Once you're across the court and under the net, it's a little hard to see. I can't be certain, but I know that's what the discussion was there.
That clips the net. Ian Cap. That one is, well, one official called it in, one called it out. Cap says don't challenge it. He thinks it's out.
Yeah, because there was also discussion about potential net, but that was Santiago's ball hitting the net on the way over. So I think that some of the guys were a little confused on what was going on. Cap knew exactly how that point played out. Didn't need anything, didn't want to waste any resources there. So good control by him of the court situation.
Stunners have cut this to 3, and then a misfire on the serve and a crucial side out. Stunners have done a good job of cutting the deficit in half. Ian Cap, 7 kills, 2 aces today, as the OC Stunners, New Jersey Freedom have both had some fine service performances. 6 aces today so far for New Jersey. And that one is wide.
Man, both these teams breathing a sigh of relief when Ian Cap and Jair Santiago end their serving runs with missed serves. You feel a little bit better in that serve-receive line, I gotta tell you. So now see if Matt Hilling is able to get any magic started.
And another error, this time Hilling, and you could hear him audibly unhappy with himself.
Yep, not the serve he was looking for. That's 2 missed serves in a row, if I'm not mistaken, for him. Oh no, sorry, I was thinking of from set 1, so. Good recycle from Chavers, he's out.
Here's Santiago. Norman with the cross-court dig. Hilling, that's gonna ping pong off an unlucky bounce off the duct on the air conditioning unit in the ceiling of all the places for the ball to hit. And Joe Norman with the kill.
Joe Norman with the dig. I think he might be more proud of the dig than the kill. The way he's walking around.
Could be a free ball there. That draws the Stunners into the net. And
Right.
Another bad pass. OC's got no one to blame but themselves right now.
Yeah, the serving pressure proving to be very, very difficult for them to handle.
They go to Santiago. This will be run down by Elias. And Norman, I would have just dumped that one over.
He puts it under the net instead. There it is. Proud of you, Joe. Not the out-of-system swing he was hoping for.
I mean, if they're looking for that, I can help them out. I can do the same thing.
That is not the swing.
Actually, I don't think I've ever hit it under net in my life. However, I don't ever hit the ball as hard as Joe Norman
You
either.
know, it happens to us all once, but Freedom gets to laugh their way to a 5-point lead even after that. So joke's on...
That is stuffed down. Nick West and Ramirez team up again. That is now 4 blocks in this match that Nick West has helped expedite. And the lead is back to only 4 as the Stunners didn't go away easily, that's for sure. Here's Shane Beamer. Much better pass. Here's Joe Norman.
Oh!
Reach out and stuff someone. Corey Chavers this time joining forces with Nick West.
Wow. Corey Chavers, one-on-one, gets the stop. Joe Norman feels like he's been just untouchable so far this match. And to get a stop in the one-on-one situation from Chavers is brilliant.
And the run ends there. Beamer can't believe it. And now New Jersey has 4 set points to play with. Here's Elias to end it. Diving dig by Elias. Norman tooling the block as game number 2 comes to a close. 25-20 as the New Jersey Freedom, after not being able to hold on in game 1, get the finish here in game 2, and we are even 1 set apiece. We'll take a break and come back for game 3. Rejoin us here in San Bernardino. Great one we have with you tonight. Back here courtside, Ira Thornton, Nick England, Noah Chast. Matt Proster's here because he's coaching as well. And, well, a big factor at the end of game number 2 was Matt Hilling having to have his potential hand injury addressed. Noah Chast has an injury update on Hilling.
Yeah, and I asked him what happened, and he said, you know, his thumb basically got bent back. And at first he said, no, it's not that bad, thumb got bent. I asked him, okay, is it swollen? What is it? And he looked at me and he goes, well, I'm going to change the language. But he said, it's pretty messed up. And he kind of insinuated to me that maybe if they had Joey Jarvis here and some more subs, he'd probably consider taking himself out of the game. But since they're out of options on that front, he's playing through it. So to say it's bothering him is putting it lightly. That hand and that thumb is certainly aggravating Matt Hilling.
Great to hear, man. That's a tough one, too. It's on his right hitting hand, so every single time, whether he feels it or not. He's certainly thinking about it. And the thumb, obviously not to be understated how important that is. Blonzik getting down and dirty, though,
and
saves that trickle over the top.
Serving from his knees. Corey Chavers with the kill to end that long point.
Welcome back. Reading your finance buzz.
Here's Ferreter, and he's able to get the answer. That's his 5th kill, and you look at just the distribution for New Jersey. 10 kills from Norman, 7 apiece from Cap and Burrell, 5 from Ferreter. Even Blonzik has gotten involved. Been an efficient offense today. Meanwhile, it's been Hilling and Chavers largely leading the way because Santiago hasn't been his hot self, and he gets blocked there by a combination of Blonzik and Joe Norman. May have actually been all net, actually. Now we get another look at it.
Tough one. He was definitely being aggressive on the angle swing there, but
this time he gets his redemption and sticks it through.
Man, no Seifert. You know, we're used to seeing Seifert coming into that 6'10" stature. Now you got the 7-footer replacing him. Joe Norman and Paul Blonzik, 1-2 punch is a lot of height over there.
Yeah, Seifert, though, one of the stronger players in the league. That is the difference, despite the height. Well, you don't need to be strong. You just got to be right. And that is a double stuff of Ferreter and Tall Paul.
Paul does a great job of getting all the way over the net there, sealing that well, and gave Hilling very little real estate to get involved with.
New Jersey with the early lead. Hilling has to reach for that one. They go to Nick West, stabbed out of the sky by Elias. This comes over on one. Alou with the one arm to save it. And New Jersey dumps this one over. Hilling, reach out and stuff someone. Tall Paul, Joe Norman. Hear that one on the shore. The Jersey shore.
Well, high probability it's not going back to the outside on this set, because it's going to be left short in the net by Ferreter. Man, that's a bailout miss. Unfortunate. I mean, it's justifiable in terms of his serving responsibility, but man, I wish he could have just put one more in to really put it on the stunners there and make them react.
Behind Cap, doesn't matter. With a bounce swing. Matt Hilling over on one by Alou, but it misses the court.
In transition, Hilling back on the horse, gets a nice kill. There's been talks all weekend long, all season long. You know, is that a double? Well, the way you might have been raised playing the game, or if you're at younger levels, yeah, you're probably going to get called for that. But here at the NBA, we want to loosen everything up. We're going with the international standard. If you're setting your hitters, it is going to be exceptionally rare that we see a double called. But what's not rare? An ace coming from the stunners in the form of a Nick West swing out of zone 5, picking apart the serve-receive of Team Freedom right there.
Third ace of the match for Nick West. Jordan Hoppe still with a comfortable lead in the overall lead in the NBA, but Nick West is coming for him. Probably not going to get there, though. Alou with the adjustment. They go to Joe Norman, and that causes a blocking error. I believe it's on Beamers. He's the one questioning it. Nick England thinks it's on Hilling.
Matt Hilling, when he turned off that block move, lower left hip comes into the net. That's what you get when that height, though, of Joe Norman. They're forced to kind of max out that block, trying to get up there, and lack of discipline comes through.
They go to Tom Burrell, a little bit of a paintbrush swing, but enough to land kill number 8. Here's Paul Bolonzik. That one's deep. Shane Beamer over on one after the dig by Elias. Beamer this time, a little mustard off of that one.
Man, the one-handed stabs, just the defense, Team Freedom, they are all standing in back there. Alou, Cap, and a lot of Matt Elias getting some big digs.
Jair Santiago trying to create some offense behind the service line.
Instead,
that one,
an offensive serve as he soars it long.
One lands in Palm Springs. Chambers off of the shoulder of Alou. It's going to stay on the court, forcing Shigakawa to retreat. And then, Shigakawa gets decapitated, but gets the dig. Burrell looking for the assist. It won't happen. Beamer and Ramirez take me down to Rejection City.
Both liberos scrapping it out. Shigakawa gets the one-handed stab. Alou steps in, gets a massive dig. Man. Different color jersey means different color problems. These guys are putting their bodies on the line.
These teams are a combined 14-2 on the season. And a big blast from Tom Burrell.
Man, Tom might be the shortest middle on the court, but he is swinging at the height of everyone else's hands. He is so vertical when he is swinging. It's impressive to see.
His timing also may be the best of any middle in the league. He is always in that right spot to hit the one.
Certainly is. Great pass.
Nothing gonna stop Corey Chambers from doing that damage. His 7th kill. What an utter blast.
Man, just picking apart once again. Ramirez knows where there's the mismatch. Randy Ramirez is one of the best setters in the league about that. He wastes no time. If you're a blocker and you're undersized, he lets you know right away that he knows where you're at in the blocking scheme.
Here's Joe Norman. Goes cross court. Couldn't get the sharp angle. Over on one. A little bit of a miscommunication, and ultimately it doesn't matter. OC Thunder's very fortunate not to have had a double attack here there, and ultimately Santiago with the kill.
So that was one of the most unique things I've ever seen. Basically, Ramirez tried to put it over, and he tipped it back, kind of missed his connection. Elias was still in the air and tipped it back at him. So there was like a weird little delayed contact at the net that sent that back. That was interesting. Normally you see these guys kind of clash together, but both of them just kind of playing some patty cake over the net.
Good read by you. I thought it was just a misconnection. They go to Tom Burrell again. That combo of Elias and Burrell is fun to watch. They rarely miss.
You said it earlier. Their timing and connection, it is so established. And Burrell has spent the last couple NBA seasons kind of helping out as we bolster some Midwest and East Coast teams. Played before the Texas Tyrants were the Texas Tyrants. In 2020, they were the Tennessee Tyrants. And a lot of the guys from Freedom stepped down to help run that roster. Matt Buffum, Ian Cap, Jake Nolnazik, Ryan Alou, Ryan Kenny. Many of them went to the Chicago Untouchables last season. And now they've finally made their exodus home. Coach and owner Justin Beaumont said, all right, guys, I've had enough of loaning you out, helping other squads out. It's time to come home. I want to compete. And look at that. The boys come home, and an 8-0 perfect season is underway.
Everything's better in New Jersey. And some things are taller as Tall Paul picks up yet another kill. Other than your one visit last season, the one time the NBA had an event in Jersey, have you ever been there? Is that your first time?
No, I've spent a decent amount of time in Jersey, actually. One of my childhood best friends is from the area. So time in Jersey, Philly, the Big Apple.
Nick is a lot more well-traveled.
Lived in Germany for 2 years. We're talking about being well-traveled.
Did not know this.
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation after the show.
Proud product of a career-long Air Force veteran. So dad spent 18 years serving, so it's a decent amount.
Great thing to do. You get to see the world a little bit, and obviously thanks to your dad for his service.
Yeah, by the time I was in first grade, he'd retired, so he did a lot of the service, starting super young, and then I grew up in Southern California. But
my father-in-law spent a lot of time in Germany in the Air Force as well, so it seems to be a popular destination for the Air Force.
Oh yeah.
Jair Santiago plants one down the line. He's been a little slow today, but that's 5 kills for him as he begins to pick up steam here in the third set. Nick West, what more can he do today to help his team? 3 kills, 3 aces, 5 blocks. Probably brewed the coffee as well. They go back to tall Paul, and maybe it's the height, maybe it was the off-speed pitch, but Stunners couldn't handle it, and that is kill number 4 for Bolanczyk.
That's tough. We've seen the middles on both of these teams are very, very well-rounded players. Nick West disappointed. He wasn't able to find the dig there off the deflection.
That is left short by Paul Bolanczyk, and the side out goes to the Stunners. 14-12. They are leading in a seesaw third set. We'll see game one in extra points, 30-28. And that one is wide. New Jersey has a little bit of a deeper bench today. They still have, in addition to everybody who's been out there, including Matt Buffum, who's played a little bit, they have Ryan Kenny, who's a backup at libero, or I should say at setter. Can also play libero if needed. And they also have Jacob Milnazik, best buddy of Noah Chast. Tom Burrell this time got blocked back. Free ball, and Randy Ramirez, my goodness, he wants that one back.
Yeah, he found it earlier during the second set, ending one of the best rallies of the event for sure, but cannot find it there. And Freedom holding on, tying us up at 14 apiece.
New Jersey has scored the last 2, so we're all square, as Nick just mentioned, and Joe Norman has got 11 kills, looking for an ace. They go to Santiago. Back set, Joe Norman from the back row. Chikakawa can't handle. Ramirez goes a long way for that one. And what an attack from Santiago. Basically flat-footed. Not flat-footed there. Bombs away, but he was in front of the 10-foot line. So while pretty, it doesn't count.
A lot of effort from both of those sides, but Santiago tries to get that one done on his own to end that.
What about the zip on the one where he's flat-footed?
Yeah.
Insanity.
We don't all live in a world being 6'10", 6'11". The game and gravity are a little bit different the way you get to play.
Yeah, but trying to get on an airplane like that, I wouldn't want to be 6'10" either. As that one will fall in for a kill for New Jersey. And that will be a technical timeout. 16-14, New Jersey has scored 4 in a row. Back for more in a bit. Back here courtside, 4 in a row for New Jersey as they look to take a 2-1 lead in this match. Match that, quite frankly, could go in either direction right now.
Yeah, neither team wanting to give an inch. 2-point lead, though, is more importantly on the back of a 4-point run. Stunners are battling well, but kind of falling to their own mistakes.
Big serve from Joe Norman. Chavers slow to get up after that one. They go outside to Cap, and it's coming our way. Ian Cap, his 8th kill. And New Jersey has scored now 5 straight.
Man, the service pressure from Freedom right now is just absolutely taking control. They're getting Stunners out of system and getting free balls back as a result. And they're just getting too many opportunities to score those points.
Norman takes something off of that one. Shane Beamer with a useful spot in the back corner.
That's a next level connection right there. Randy Ramirez putting that one on a thread out to the middle. Good usage of that 3 ball. But Joe Norman doing a nice job creating some good consistent run for Freedom.
So here's Matt Hilling. Still a 2-point deficit for his squad. Good pass by Ferreter. And sneaky Matt Elias.
I'm just realizing as we kind of stand up and stretch our legs out here, how short this front row is for Freedom with Ferreter, Elias, and Buffum, or Burrell. But man, they are just so in sync. They're playing big on the net.
Well, I'm basically the same height, maybe an inch shorter than Elias. He's got way better hands. Cap with the dig off the block. They go to Ferreter, and Ferreter ping pong. Can this be saved by Chavers? It won't find the court, but what an effort. Applaud Corey Chavers for the effort there. The side out to New Jersey.
I mean, that right there felt exactly like we're talking about. Those rallies that Stunners are just trying so hard to make it happen, but anytime, if it even comes back in the court, Freedom's just getting free balls back.
6th kill, by the way, for Ferreter, as that was unreturnable. 19-15 New Jersey. And that's not coming back. An ace, Ian Cap. And New Jersey, the first to 20. 3rd ace for Cap, 7th ace for New Jersey. And Matt Prosser has seen enough. Timeout, Stunners will take one as well and come back for more here in Game 3. So after this timeout by the Stunners, we'll see if they can slow down this New Jersey press. Arlo Edra and his squad, they have certainly bounced back after a 30-28 loss in Game 1. Oh, they missed fire, and the set becomes a perfect set for Matt Elias as he puts one down.
Just opens it up. That one right in his window. You know, maybe he wanted that just a tad bit more outside, but he can always let his setter on the other side. Randy Ramirez knows what he prefers.
Well, that's the 2nd kill of the set here for Elias. Another big serve for Cap. Better pass for Shigekawa. And this one behind Norman, couldn't backpedal. And finally, the run ends.
Man, I think that the way in which you said that spoke to the soul of any Stunners fan at home. It was the most depressing grasp of hope of, man, that ended, but 4 points too late.
Well, if you do the all-together math, New Jersey has scored 9 of the last 11 points.
Oof.
That's the run. And it continues on, 10 to 12 as fair.
That really contextualizes exactly what's going on here. Being able to get into the dog day part of a match, that second half, and just, you know, unrelenting the service pressure for Freedom here.
Nick's mom is here, and she's happy to hear him use contextualize in a complete sentence. And that one is stuck through for the kill for the OC Stunners and Jair Santiago.
I use some big words occasionally, but man, you want to see some, you want to see where I got them? There's the walking dictionary right there.
Nick's not just a pretty face with a sleeve. He knows big words, too. Oh, that's behind Ferreter. He had to reach out with a left arm. Couldn't save it. A rare bad set from Elias.
Yeah, definitely. Ferreter was on kind of a faster tempo there. And I think that was a little bit slower from Elias. Miscommunication, but again, they got breathing room here.
Still a 4-point lead for New Jersey. They go to Joe Norman when you need a trouble swing. And Norman was able to get the touch. Norman now with a dozen winners. Here's Elias to serve. Stick through the rest of the broadcast. We'll see what other major SAT words Nick is able to incorporate in the broadcast. Here's Corey Chavers. That's blocked back. Well covered by Nick West. And then Chavers with the slot.
Nick West spent the better half of that point on the ground, crawling out of the way after covering a Corey Chavers tip recycle. But middle's plenty of ways to get involved if the set's not going to you. And Nick West knows how to get it done.
Also knows how to self-preserve his face.
Yeah.
Don't step on me, friends.
He's got quite the interesting backstory. Started his college career at UC Irvine before heading over to the University of Hawaii. He's spent time over in a variety of countries, including Germany, as a middle blocker as well as a right side, based on some team injuries. He's very, very versatile player.
And that's off the tape. Norman with the misfire swinging from the outside in that rotation. Now the deficit just 3.
23-20. Do you remember what happened the last time it was 23-20 for Team Freedom?
Didn't end as well.
Did not end as well at all.
Here's Corey Chavers. Didn't end well there for Corey Chavers. And now New Jersey has 4 set points. Tim Ferreter will look to end it. They go to Hilling, and that one is outside the antenna, and game number 3 ends with the same score as game number 2. A 25-20 win for the New Jersey Freedom, who have a 2-1 lead in this match. Could easily be 3-0, and they will play to try to move to 9-0 on the season when we return for game number 4. Nick's prize son, Ollie England, has entered the building. And while his wife Ari has needed to take a quick break, Noah has discovered that he's truly versatile, not just a sideline guru. Doesn't just have the best sideline post-game interviews around. He also makes sure your dog doesn't pee on the court.
Yeah, it's he's a well-rounded part of our team. But now we're getting back into way. Nick West taking that first set. Norman has to free ball it over, and Stunners are going to get another chance here. Santiago hammers that one home.
Right in front of Luz. Had a great match. We were talking about in between sets 3 and 4, just what a difference Luz made today, Nick.
Certainly is. That's one that when that squeaks through your legs like that, you're glad that it just skips on by.
Or what? Ferreter down the line. That one is wide. Actually, what would happen is that one is any higher.
It's a tough dig. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's toughest digs. Rather get hit in the face. Off the net, Alou runs that one down. And then Balanzik with the swing. Hilling, who is now, I think they've made a switch here. I think Hilling's in the OH1 now. And Chavers is in the 2. It looks like they've made a switch here.
Yes, that is correct. Nice observation, Ira. All over that one.
I do try to pay attention. And that one is stuck through by Ferreter. Off of the net. They go to Hilling now from the right side. Oh, and Ian Cap thought he had closed down that window, but Hilling picks up kill number 8. He ties Shavers unofficially for the team lead. Norman's got 12. That leads all players. Again, all stats today are unofficial because the data volley system, which is how we keep stats here in the NBA and in most professional leagues, is being temperamental today.
Happens to the best.
As that is put away by Balanzik. I see Noah Chast has returned to his perch here on the sideline. How was your dog sitting experience? Is Ollie a good boy? A good boy?
Oh, Ollie's a very good boy. I think he thought the microphone was like a stick or a toy because he kept wanting to speak into it.
Hey, he's a chatty guy.
I mean, I'm
as Nick West puts one down through the middle.
I would think that Nick probably walks around the house and is interviewing his dog all the time just to, keep practicing his on-air experience here. And
I appreciate that you all think that I get a word in at my house with a 60% Siberian Husky mix, and I'm married to a beautiful teacher. There is a lot of me just, being the silent, supportive one.
Being married myself, and tomorrow is my 22nd wedding anniversary, and I get to spend it with you lovely souls. I can tell you that I have to force words in otherwise in my house, and I'm not sure any of them are being heard.
Selective hearing.
Although my wife can probably, and rightfully say that I have selective hearing, and she wouldn't be wrong. Norman will serve. Beamer gets blocked back, but it doesn't stay on the court, and he picks up kill number 5.
The passing so far for the Stunners has cleaned up measurably. That's what's going to be an important part of this. That's really been the difference so far. Freedom has had just exceptional service pressure, using great jump serves, great float serves.
And that by Jair also won't be on his career highlight tape. I wonder if there's a bad toss there.
I think that's a bad everything.
Hey, it's a round for everyone.
Is that how it works?
Is there a Shaq in the Fool?
I'll take a pale ale. Thank you, sir.
It's either that or a dozen donuts, I think.
Yeah,
I don't
depending on your age
donuts.
group. You got that right, Noah.
And Beamer leaves it short. Yeah, I definitely don't need any donuts. I mean, when you talk about well-rounded athletes, I thought you were talking about me for a second.
Jeez. Ira, you are pound for pound for pound the best athlete I've ever seen.
Pound for pound, the best broadcaster, maybe.
Oh, man. I can't right now.
Listen, we're the thinnest crew in professional sports, as that is put away by Corey Chavers. That is 9 for him, along with 3 blocks. So much for being a part-time player this year. Doesn't look like it. Hasn't been available.
Yeah.
And when he's available, he is very difficult to find an answer for. Elias looking at his answers. Ferner is the one as he's able to slip that one cross court. Great angle, forcing Corey Chavers to try to navigate the entire back corner. Couldn't get there.
Shane Beamer going through that motion in his head. Wants that one back. Got a little touch, but not the one he was hoping for.
1 point lead for the Stunners. Hilling, couldn't get the trickle. He was falling off balance behind him, and that one just didn't take a Hilling bounce.
Yeah, he was expecting a much faster tempo there. And that might have actually been intended for the middle to Beamer, but on a different tempo than he was running as well. Hard to tell. Either way, missed execution all the same.
Good pass by Chavers. Hilling's second try, and he gets the result.
We talked earlier about the defensive prowess of Buffum and Burrell, two of the middles from Freedom, and one of my favorite images is the fact that those guys play grass tournaments together. So they're middles here on the indoor court, which you typically associate with some of the less well-rounded players, and to see them both play together, I've heard is sometimes a uniquely dimensional game, but they know how to score. That is very apparent.
With a two middle double setup, when the pass is there, anything can happen. They're almost unstoppable. It's the getting the pass part that they're great passers for middles, but a little behind them, maybe some outsides and liberos and other more pass-oriented players.
Player Santiago able to split the block, his 8th kill.
Doing a phenomenal job navigating that back row right there. He really uses every inch.
And Volanzik, I'll tell you what, he's been a secret weapon. That is now 7 kills for Paul Volanzik, which I think is his high since joining New Jersey.
Yeah, he's not seen a ton of court time, considering they've got so many middles on that squad. Doug Zema and Matt Seifert notably missing this weekend, but more than capable of stepping in.
Lucky bounce off of the support beam holding this roof on. Free ball. Norman couldn't find the court. Oh, what a break for the Stunners.
That is our one FIVB modified rule we keep in the league. Just basically accounts for any variety of gyms we might go into. Ceiling is live as long as it's over playable parts of the court and doesn't deflect a ball that would otherwise be going out of bounds back in.
Over ball, Santiago straight down.
That one was dying right on the net, and sometimes that's tough not to actually follow through and hit the net. Santiago closes his fist, does a nice job there.
Here's Matt Hilling.
2-point lead. If he can keep one more in, give them another point run, but leaves that one short.
Flips the top of the net, and that at least was a good hard serve by Hilling. We've seen so many others that have been well off the mark. Not by him in general, but just in this match. Nick West getting a chance to swing, which he doesn't do very often, and he is true blue.
Man, I gotta say it, once again, passing is definitely cleaning up there. The amount of middle sets alone tell you the story of what the Stunners passing is looking like right now. In system means time to run the middle.
And West left that one short. He's been so hot in this one, 3 aces already, and pretty much manufactured a comeback on his own. So a 2-point deficit. Stunners win this match, we will go to a 5th set. Not a good pass by Norman, so he has to take a lot off of it. And that's a tool to block. Corey Chavers now in double figures with 10 kills. When these teams first met back in April 10th, New Jersey won 3-1. 25-22, 22. They lost the third set 25-18. They won 25-23. But again, the Stunners did not have a full roster that day. And Jair Santiago, who did play in that match, commits the foot fault.
Not a big one, but hey, every little bit matters.
Just, I think, the front nail of the big toe.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're 6'10", and you probably wear a size 16 shoe, these things happen. You also need more leg room on an airplane, so you're not flying United Economy Plus. Cap able to dig that off of the block. Here, it's a stutter set from Ferreter, and he misfires long. 14-12, Stunners on top. Yeah, I never realized how uncomfortable it is for some of these guys to fly until I was coming back this past week with my son from a trip that ended in Chicago. He's 6'5", 215, and he needed, thank God we had nobody between us on the plane, needed the entire second seat because he just had to stretch his legs out. He was so uncomfortable. So at 6'5", I can't imagine somebody like Jair or Joe Norman. Carlo Edger was telling me a story about the third or fourth event this year. He and Joe Norman were flying back, and they will challenge this whether there was a touch. But they were flying back from Ontario, and the only seat left on the plane was in economy for Joe Norman. No, there were no exit row seats, which is where he normally sits, and he had to fly back 5 hours back to the East Coast, basically with his legs almost in like the fetal position.
Oh, man. That's a tough spot to be in. We got a challenge coming through, though, now to center us back up. They're looking for a touch. From my recollection on that point, I saw the block kind of lower and pull hands. I think this missed pretty well over Randy Ramirez's head because he kind of dropped those hands. I'm sure we're going to see the angle here in a moment.
And they dropped it. Once they saw that Ferreter had to do a slight stutter step to his left, that's when they pulled the hands down. I think that was just a miss by Ferreter.
And from my perspective, I'm seeing the same thing you guys saw. I didn't really see the touch. I mean, Coach Carlo Edra is one of the best challenging coaches in the league. So maybe Tim really saw or heard something that we couldn't see, and he's got a lot of confidence in his guys. But from our perspective over here, I agree with both of you that it did not look like there was a touch.
It could also be a Hail Mary, because remember, after this set, you will lose any challenges you have remaining, and he's got all three.
Yeah.
He has one challenge he's used. He won that, so he keeps it. We go to a fifth set. You'll have one challenge to use however you deem necessary.
Not sure yet if we're going to have a feed on that or if they're just trying to find the relevant clips. So we'll keep you guys updated. Just a little update if you haven't heard already. Tomorrow, the first ever NVA All-Star match going to you live at 7 p.m. The way we're going to handle that is every match, instead of having a 3-hour time block assigned to it, we'll have a 2.5-hour time block. So we'll start at 9 a.m., play at 11:30, 2, 4:30, and then finally at 7. That's going to be a national conference versus an American conference. Battle of the best. It'll be exciting to see the first ever NVA All-Star match.
Here we get a look at the swing by Ferreter. I did not see a touch there, but I also...
That was moving quick.
Yeah,
I didn't
it wasn't
either,
as
but...
slowed down all the way. So here you see Ramirez go up with Beamer.
Well, I did not see a touch and haven't seen it yet in the replay. My conversation with the Stunners seemed to be... They're holding out to see how this replay goes.
Look at the left ring finger of Randy Ramirez.
It looks like it's hard. The spin on this is hard to tell, but
look at the left ring finger of Randy Ramirez. This is what we have to see.
I thought he pulled a lot more than he did. He's still going high. Oh, enhance. I don't see the ball change trajectory at all, though.
Unless that's a bad shadow. Look at that left ring finger right there.
Let's put it this way. I'm really glad I'm talking about it, and I'm glad I'm not the one making the decision. Once again, I don't know that we're getting irrefutable evidence.
I don't know if it's irrefutable, but I think
that frame right there looked like I saw one.
Ring finger.
And when I was up there with Mike Mon in the replay center earlier, he was looking for something irrefutable, as you said. So he was not moving or jumping out of his seat until he saw something that in his mind was so clear he could make the overturning call. And in this case, there was nothing in that replay that was clear enough for him to feel confident that he's going to reverse what was called on the floor.
And that is indeed the difference there, Noah. Did that catch Randy's finger? It may have. It kind of looked like it did. But not enough evidence to change the call on the court.
So, a great challenge. Didn't quite go their way, but Matt Elias getting the job done with a sneaky little dump.
He pulls off the ollie, and the deficit is just one. We've named or I have named, Nick cannot unfortunately be tied to my lunacy. We've named a dump by a setter after your new dog, Ollie. As Jair Santiago able to slug that one through. So,
man, Tom Burrell stood in there and just absolutely lipped that swing from Matt Hilling. Doesn't matter though, enough weapons on the court. Jair Santiago uncorks that swing from the right.
Here's Ferreter. And he sticks it through the block of Weston Ramirez. That was a piece of work. 10 kills for Ferreter.
That was as much a 50-50 ball as I've ever seen. Ferreter doing a great job being disciplined and just hammering that one through Ramirez's hands.
Down one, New Jersey looking to tie it midway here in game number 4. That goes over on one. Chased down by Shigakawa. And oh my, well, before the Stunners got the lucky bounce, this time the Iron Gods say, not this time. Hits 3 different points in the ceiling, and just when you thought you knew where it was, you don't.
Man, Joe Norman is so tall, didn't have to jump, just stands. Little redeflection, redirect.
That's his 13th kill, and we are tied at 15. Jair Santiago. Ryan Alou ducks out of the way. That goes long, and we have reached our tactical timeout in game number 4. New Jersey leads 2-1. They've scored 3 points in a row, and they lead by 1. Back for more. Back here courtside, New Jersey has willed their way back with a little help from the ceiling to a 16-15 lead, trying to win this match in 4 again, this time with a much more full force OC Stunners. I think Elias is hurt. He just came up limping. Or did he lose a sneaker? He's got a cramp.
Cramp.
Elias has got a cramp. And I stopped watching the play because I was so concerned with Elias.
He yelled over at Buffum, who's eating a banana, that he needed a banana. Cramps, I think, are allotted kind of just like a technical or a brief timeout. But while he recovers, Ryan Kenny will make his appearance on the court.
I forgot how the point was scored. I was so concerned with Elias.
So you just like dig a ball and it just goes straight up. And it falls on it. Or I guess if a free ball comes over and you pass the free ball up and it falls, that's not a kill. Because you can't get a kill on a free ball.
So Ryan Kenny immediately in the service. Look at the wicked float as he comes in. And a diving save by Shigekawa. Otherwise, that would have been a catastrophe for the Stunners. And another free ball chance. Ryan Kenny cold off the bench. Ferreter can work with anybody.
Man, we are just seeing right now Team Freedom is super in system on anything they do. Meanwhile, Stunners, they're rallying well, but they just cannot turn them into swings that are meaningful in any way, shape, or form.
New Jersey has scored 6 of the last 7 points. They lead by 3, trying to win this match in 4. Back set by Cap, free ball by Ferreter, and then Ramirez. Oh, what a nearly a diving save by Cap, and the effort by Ferreter. Gets a pat in the back from Tim Ferreter, or from Nick West. Nick West hands back the merchandise to Patrick Bradley, our R2, because Ferreter took out the replay challenge walkie-talkie. Hey, you break it, you buy it.
We're going to have a quick break here, actually, as Ferreter punched the... he hit the equipment. Unfortunately for him, 2 of the screws are on that side, so I think he got a small just opening, and anytime you have blood, that cannot be left unattended. So they're going to take him to the bench real quick, and this will be a quick stoppage for, you know, getting him all taped up.
And the Freedom clicking offensively on all cylinders, but falling apart in terms of their bodies right now.
5 plays, 2 guys down. Luckily, they actually have a bench this event.
That is good for them because they were a team an event ago that had no one on the bench.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that we were worried that they were going to have to play with just 6 during the Father's Day weekend event. No Ian Cap, no Tim Ferreter, no Matt Seifert. They still don't have a Matt Seifert today, and so far it hasn't mattered.
And luckily,
because Paul Bolonzik is having a match of his life.
He has, and luckily for them, they do have 2 setters today in their lineup. But technically, they have 3 setters if they needed to move Ian Cap, because he is a more than capable setter. That's what he played in college. It's what he played initially or sometimes here with the NBA and on past teams. So they really have their full plethora of setter options.
Yeah, you're not losing a whole lot when Cap goes to set, Milnazic comes in. Like, it's kind of a 1-2 punch. All right, all taped up means we're back into action.
2-point deficit now for the Stunners to try to overcome. And a taped up Tim Ferreter gets stuffed by West and Hilling. That is 6 blocks for Nick West. And the deficit slimmed to 1. Kenny pops his one. It's going to be a free ball. Chance for the Stunners to tie it here. Run down. Cap with the set. And that's going to be tipped over. It's going to fall in. Oh, Norman. Lucky, but he'll take it. As that one, Ramirez got the first touch and nobody could recognize where it was. Crazy play. And a crucial side out here for New Jersey. Otherwise, we would have been tied at 18. Tim Ferreter, your server. Matt Hilling, a loo. Oh, that claps off the ceiling. Cap was there for it, but Tim Ferreter couldn't get the swing.
We just talked a little bit about the prowess of Ian Cap. Very similar to Isaiah Afaji this morning from the Tyrants when we were talking about him, someone that's spent so much time setting, been playing outside. It's kind of funny because you get these chaos plays and you might expect for a hopefully better ball, and all of a sudden an in-system set coming out of nowhere, just not quite able to be controlled there by Ferreter.
How about the work there of Cap not to have a carry on that play? Oh! The Great Wall of New Jersey shuts down the Stunners. Bolonzik, Norman, and I believe Ian Cap What a block. Now, the question is, did they catch the net? And that is what the Stunners are going to review. As Patrick Bradley, our R2, signals up to Mike Mon and the review team.
And so the Stunners are challenging that the Freedom was in the net. And I wouldn't be surprised if this gets overturned to see a challenge from the Freedom side, because Matt Hilling's feet were awfully close to that 10-foot
They
line.
were very close. I would put a lot of money they were not over.
I don't think they were either.
No,
but if they lose,
I was staring straight at it.
if
so
they lose this point to that challenge, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think great point. I wouldn't be either. But for that, should that happen, that would be a lost challenge from what I saw.
I agree with you there.
Let's see.
We've already
These are always
seen Carlo have a challenge within a challenge this year, so it wouldn't be.
the swing is not as high as you would like to see. So it kind of
Look at the elbow of Paul Bolanczyk.
wait, that's way higher than I thought it was. If that's moving, that's probably going to be a net on the way down.
Watch.
Oh, it's got to be. If the net's not moving yet, the net's going to be. Yep, there it is.
That's Joe Norman, actually. No, I take it back.
I don't know who it is, but that's a Freedom blocker.
We'll watch this one more time. In the middle, because you got Norman, Bolanczyk.
I can't tell. There's so many elbows.
I'm counting arms. 1, 2.
The best part about all this discussion, though, is someone on the Freedom side knows they netted, and they just haven't said it yet.
Similar to that, not net touch, but ball touch on the Thunder side.
Right.
They knew they touched it, but they knew, hey, it's probably not. You might not see it in the replay, so let's let them do their thing. And if the challenge is overturned, okay. If not, we'll keep the point.
Unlike Shane Beamer early on, who knew very well that was going to be seen and was just trying to speed the process along.
By the way, you see that
there it is. It might be cap on the turn. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We're beating a dead horse here. You see that net take a walk as they come down.
It's nice to be 7 foot. You see Paul Bolanczyk has his sternum over the net. I mean, the air up there must be a lot cleaner to breathe.
There it is. Confirmation call overturned. That's going to be a point to the Stunners.
So it's a blocking error. The Great Wall has a crack in it. Now, does Carlo Edra challenge the back row violation, the challenge within the challenge?
All right. Well, that's as good a challenge as any, and that's what's always so impressive and why I love the challenge system. In high school, you cannot trust the judgment of a player to know what happened or didn't. At this level, these guys have been playing for a decade, 2 decades. They've seen it, so they know exactly when they want that challenge.
And there's an answer. Santiago and Nick West with a brutal block. And the Stunners have retaken the lead at 20-19.
Whew. Challenging the seam of Nick West and Jair Santiago. I wouldn't wish it on my worst opponents.
Better pass, Kenny. Nick West is there to shut down Tall Paul.
You want to know why he's the block leader in the NVA? Get out your notepads and take a class. He is delivering right now.
And ever since the injury to Matt Elias, and that's no disrespect to Ryan Kenny, but Elias was running such a smooth offense. Stunners have turned the tables. They now lead by 2. And now it's 3 as Hilling unleashes the ace.
Matt Hilling has struggled to get his serving on point all match long. And all of a sudden, turns it on, and the out-of-system passes have ensued.
Well, we thought this might go 5 in the pregame show, and we're well on our way. Come back for the conclusion of this one. So the final timeout here, likely in set number 4, as we will see a substitution. Matt Elias, after working on his cramp issues on the sideline, has checked back in for Ryan Kenny, but his team trails by 3. Norman finds the cord so quickly that pays dividends for New Jersey. They will have a double sub here, as Burrell's back in, and coming in to serve will be Matt Buffum replacing tall Paul Bolanczyk. 22-20. That was kill number 15 unofficially for Joe Norman. That leads everybody. Ferreter has 11. Chavers, Santiago both have 10 apiece.
Right now, a small delay getting the computer system to jive with the substitution made of Buffum in for Bolanczyk. All resolved. Time to go.
Gets past Shigakawa. They go to Chavers, a little tight. And that was, I thought that was last touch by Chavers, but they're going to give it a Chavers tool. And I think they're going to challenge this. Yeah, I thought that was definitely the last touch by Corey Chavers. I saw that plain as day. But our officials didn't call it that way.
I saw it plain as day the other way.
Well,
so
one of us needs glasses,
yeah.
Darn it.
Those are tough, because that's actually a call that started reversing in the last year or two internationally, is those kind of wipes off the block. You can see Chavers doing nothing to try and put that over the net. He's ending the play based on that. But it's all about, he catches a hand. The question is his hand making contact after the block does?
See the joust here. Push, push, push. There's 3, 4,
that's out
5 hands on it.
That's still in Buffum's hand, or Burrell's hand, it looked like. I don't know. This angle gives you a little bit of context that we're going to be looking at Burrell, and basically Burrell's right hand and Chavers' left, and we're going to have to go to the net to see exactly what's going on after that.
As we slow this one down. Look at the height on Corey Chavers, by the way.
Yeah. Pits over the net.
This will be.
Now again, we get back to it. We get back to the irrefutable. Oh, this is an angle. You want to see Titans playing? Joe Norman's arms are straight forward. That's Burrell. Is that Burrell's hand? Yeah, Chavers is going to win that one for sure. They're definitely not going to overturn. In my personally professional opinion, what we saw there doesn't overturn. I think that's going to stay for the Stunners.
And they blow this one up. See both hands for Chavers on it. Locked back by the right hand of Burrell and both hands from Joe Norman. Right there, it's last touching New Jersey. Now, if we can see this clip move forward, does it come off of the right hand of Chavers? I think there's a strong case you can make for it, but
I'm not seeing anything that overturns is my thing. I want to see it just played through without going to slow-mo.
Yeah, look as it goes through. It looks like it's off of the hand of Chavers on the right hand, swiping.
Well, I mean, that's definitely what he's doing. It's just
follow-through.
that you can't. I'm trying to see what that. I wish they would stop slowing it down here for a second, just because it would see ball trajectory. You'd be able to see from Chavers' release.
If this stands as it is, the OC Stunner is going to be a lot closer to winning this set.
Well, Ira, let's put it this
point.
way. I'm glad I'm not making the decision.
This is a huge point because this really can determine the outcome of this fourth set. It's that deep into the set where this is a crucial of a replay as you're going to see. Maybe not as much as the replay in the Tyrants Ramblers match earlier this year, but it's up there, especially with the magnitude of the teams playing.
Yeah, that was actually a great reference. That was a very similar one where it was kind of on the net, same kind of play. Call is going to be confirmed there. No irrefutable evidence or nothing seen. Either way, Corey Chaver is rewarded for his effort. One thing we didn't talk about there, that ball basically came to the plane of the net 50-50. Through two blockers, Corey Chavers jammed the entirety of the ball over the net through both Norman and Burrell. That just showed you, like slow motion, how much is going on at the height of the net. That was awesome to see it slowed down.
Well, now it's 23-20. That's the difference between a three-point set and a one-point set, because otherwise that was reversed.
Yeah.
It's 22-21.
Huge. It was a good challenge. Definitely a good challenge.
Here's Nick West. That was nearly a foot fault.
It was a foot fault.
And it doesn't matter. Norman is going to get the swing just for some practice here, as Nick West had a good big toe on that line.
They're all flirting with it, using every bit of inch of approach way that they got.
So Norman, a little bit of a reprieve, 23-21. Crucial serve. He's got one ace today to go with 15 kills. Take something off of it. And that one clips the line for Santiago.
Wow. The entire bench grimaced for freedom and pointed in, knowing that that caught line.
And this is set point. There are 3 of them. (24-21). That was a foot fault. In fact, that was his entire foot.
That one wasn't close. Jair was like, really? Yeah. I would understand if Nick West was a little incredulous as to his.
If Jair wore a size 8 shoe, he still would have been over.
Yeah.
24-22. So can Freedom save this set thanks to foot faults? Good serve there by Cap. Chambers. Oh, Lou with a big dig. Cap from the back row. Chambers again. That's blocked back. Shigakawa reads it well. Third chance for Chambers. Cap goes to Ferreter, and that will not be saved. So that's 2 set points staved off by New Jersey. 12th kill by Ferreter. 24-23, timeout Stunners. And we will take a final timeout as well. Game 4. Wow. Get your popcorn ready. This might go 5. Get back for more.
Ira, we are. Oh.
After the timeout for the Stunners, New Jersey trying to bounce back from 3 set points. This is the 3rd, and Ian Cap, one of the top servers in the NVA, with a ball in his hands. 24-23 OC. Big serve. Chambers was ready for it. They go back to their main man, Corey. Dug up by Cap. Ferreter looking to tie it. Santiago runs it down. Ramirez back to Chambers, and Corey ends it. Corey Chambers with his 11th kill, and the OC Stunners survive in Game 4, 25-23, and we will indeed go the distance. Come back for game number 5. New Jersey looking to go to 9-0 on the year. The OC Stunners, the defending champions, looking to end their run. Game number 5 to decide this battle of the behemoths. New Jersey trying to remain perfect. The OC Stunners trying to get within a game of the division title, even if the hill to climb is unlikely at best.
I think my favorite part about all of this is that in the grand scheme of things, without a very, very, very specific narrow, option occurring, it means virtually nothing but bragging rights, and we're getting one of the most exciting matches that we've seen all season. It's so rare in 5-setters that teams are battling all the way to the very end on every single set. It's not trading blowouts, and this has been 20-plus points every single set so far.
What's huge about this, though, of course, New Jersey, as we start off with a fair to kill, well, talk about bragging rights. They want to be the first team in NBA history to go unbeaten through an entire regular season. If that's not something to play for, Nick, then I don't know what is.
Hit the nail on the head.
The 72 Miami Dolphins certainly know a lot about perfection, as that one is long. Ryan Alou ducking and covering.
Quick reminder on the status of all the challenges. Regardless of how many you have, you now have one. So both teams are going to be very tactical with their usage of that.
Use it wisely, my friends. 2-0 New Jersey. Back set to Hilling. Oh, that is dug up by Elias. Ferreter sneaks it through. His second kill of the set. His 14th of the match. And New Jersey with the first 3 points.
Matt Elias having some digs over there.
And another perfect example of the benefit of having an Ian Cap who can just step up after his setter takes a dig and set a perfect ball to the outside.
They go this Santiago, and the door is shut. by almost 7 feet of fun. Joe Norman, Paul Bolonzik, the rejection, 4-0 New Jersey.
Stunners have time, but the time is now down by 4 and it's set just to 15. This one's going to come quick.
And Corey Chavers with a useful spot. He's got a dozen kills, and he needed that one to slow the bleeding. 4-1.
Slowing the bleeding, Ira, something Coach Prosser told his team in the break was they're going to get their runs, they're going to have their big swings and blocks, but we need to stay level on our side and not get too upset or frustrated over a run they have. And so that's something this Stunners team needs to find in this quick game to 15.
The Stunners' 5-match winning streak very much hanging in the balance. New Jersey's race to 10-0 on the other side of the scale, and that is left short, so it's 5-2.
Well, Nick West, there's a guy that'll get you started off early.
No foot fault this time. They go to Norman, and that will not come back. Joe Norman off the high hands, and Nick West couldn't read the rebound, and big spot there for Joe Norman as he picks up 16 kills to match his number. Beamer swinging away.
Bringing the heat on the swing and bringing the fire and the emotion. Shane Beamer trying to get the rest of his compatriots a little bit woken up there.
Well, Stunners still very much alive, down 3, 6-3, but obviously this is a much shorter race. Good serve by Santiago, but Alou gets enough of it. Here's Norman again, off of the shoulder of Shigakawa. Norman, fair to two of them, have been almost unstoppable in this 5th set.
Joe Norman is just the answer. He is really one of those guys that will take over a match and he'll play steady throughout. But when you get to that moment where you need someone to step up and perform, he is that guy. I mean, that line swing against the double block of Beamer and Chavers, that's not a cakewalk. It's not like you're picking on a small block there.
What do you got, 8 inches to work with there at most?
I mean, you're going against a big block, so props to Norman.
Takes something off of this one. Hilling with the pass. Corey Chavers, that's collected by Ferreter, and a lunging Elias to save it. They go to Hilling from the back row, and that ate up Joe Norman.
Little miscommunication on the height of that set. Matt Hilling found Joe Norman and just kind of smacked it at him.
Hilling reaches double figures in kills here in the 5th set, so a side out. Corey Chavers, team down 7-4. They will switch sides after one gets to 8. And that happens here as the service error sides it out to New Jersey. And the teams will take the other side of the court, and we will play on for a winner.
At 8 points, a quick switch. And right now, the difference in this, while it might look like a big one at 4 points, the real difference felt here is the fact that the Stunners have already missed 3 serves. Norman has a huge case for himself, too.
Ian Cap now an 8-4 lead. Santiago swings through the block. So Jair now has a dozen kills to go with a pair of blocks. (8-5) the lead. Shane Beamer. Deficit represents the number on his jersey. And that sails too long. Good communication there by Alou to call everybody off. The libero taking charge. He's had a great match. The former St. Francis, Pennsylvania Red Flash out of the EIVA Conference, Division I league in the eastern half of the country. A lot of these guys, though, play Division III and were really unknowns, but they have come into their own as pros. Jair Santiago picks up his 13th kill to trade points here, but the Stunners can't afford to trade points. They need to string a couple together consecutively because they still trail by 3. And it is a race to 15. Now, New Jersey is going to challenge this call. This is crucial that they get this right, as sounds as if they're challenging the line violation, it sounded like. Patrick Bradley, our official, signaling the table.
I personally thought I saw one. I'm watching a quick replay of it.
What were you looking for, Nick?
It's a back row attack from Jair Santiago.
Well, that was the only thing it could have been, because it was definitely on the court. And they will look at this one. All right, so we get the...
This will be an easy call.
Look at the toe. Look at the toe. Man, gotta get him smaller shoes. Do we have a size 15 available? That would take care of the problem. You're looking at the black line right there in the center of your screen.
And what's important is not... Oh, my.
Get your ankles out of the way.
This is unfortunately the only camera that will see if this is over or not, so...
See, you know what we need? Like bowling. We
The
need
Hawkeye.
lines that you hit it and the horn goes off. That would solve all these problems. Foot faults, too. I thought there was a foot fault. It looked like it was the last, I don't know, half inch of his left foot. But then again, I also thought that Corey Chambers touched that ball last, so well, what do I know, Nick? By the way, this is going to be a 3-hour match by the time we're done. Look right there. Where is he touching or is he not? It looks like look right there. The very, very tip is touching.
The big thing here is you can be over the line with your foot. You can't touch the line. It's just like ball compression. There it is. Just the toe.
I'm telling you, you need a smaller shoe size. I'm assuming he's a 16 at 6'10". Get him a 15. Problem solved. We solve your problems for free right here on NBA USA TV. It's like, you know, like soccer cleats. You always want to wear a size too small.
Chavers getting it done there. Nice swing out of the back row. Pipe route there.
Yeah, you had to have that one. Otherwise, the lead swells to 5. It's still a difficult spot here because in the reversal, the lead went to 10-5. Paul Bolonzik getting a chance to swing. And Tall Paul, the law firm of Bolonzik & Sons, has 8 kills.
That's been one of the differences, is the defense coming, I think, out of middle back for New Jersey's just been better than it is for the Stunners. The amount of digs coming up, just giving more chances.
You attribute that to Alou? How about a double block of fun for New Jersey as Ferreter and Bolonzik team up. That is the 5th block for Bolonzik, 2nd for Ferreter, and New Jersey looking like they're going to run away with this 5th set. And that will be an answer for the moment for Nick West. Good pass there by Cap. And Bolonzik again, they're having troubles matching up with his height. And he has reached 9 kills, and New Jersey is 2 away. All right. And that one is wide, so a temporary reprieve here. So Nick West, last ditch effort here for the Stunners. Joe Norman, and that one down the line. And
he barely had a ball's width to hit there past the pin, or past the block without hitting the pin, but he found it, moved the net just a little bit.
18 kills for Norman. They will sub out Bolonzik, and here comes Matt Buffum to try to put an exclamation mark on a 9-0 season for the New Jersey Freedom. Blocked back and to come over into the wheelhouse of Ferreter. Norman to end it, and he does! Joe Norman plants one, and New Jersey Freedom 1 win away from a perfect season. They are 9-0. Don't doubt the boys from the Garden State. They are your 2022 National Conference Coastal Division champions, and they snap OC's 5-match winning streak as the defending champions fall to 6-3. A tremendous match between behemoths here today in San Bernardino, and ultimately New Jersey's path to a perfect season now goes through the 1-7 Seattle Sasquatch on Sunday for a trip to the playoffs with an unblemished record. As we return to courtside, Nick England and Ira Thor, as we watch New Jersey today, show that anytime you discount them, doesn't matter who's missing, they will find a way against the team's best. They have swept the season series here in the American, I'd say the National Coastal Division from the defending champion OC Stunners. They've beaten the Texas Tyrants when nobody else could. They unfortunately didn't get a matchup against the Ramblers, but that may happen in the postseason. And you know what? This is a true team effort. I think our man of the match will show that.
Yeah, and it's certainly one to keep an eye on. But man, when I look at this, the entire, just taking a step back, what really impressed me here, basically where I thought the difference was going to happen was kind of the exact opposite. The serving pressure from the Stunners is traditionally just so oppressive, but today they couldn't quite get it consistent. They had some errors, which is expected, but Freedom stuck in there. They didn't have as many problems. However, when they were hitting their serves, they were not making mistakes. The mixture, the mixture of your Elias and your Burrell float serves mixed in with Ian Cap, Ferreter, Norman cranking jump serves. Frankly, OC Stunners was not able to handle it effectively enough, and that kind of just set the entire pace of this entire match. It was just impressive to see the clinic that Freedom put on from the serving line there.
And Ryan Alou was a big part of that. The libero for New Jersey had a tremendous effort today, controlling that OC Stunner service game, and he is our man of the match. We send it over to Noah Chass with Ryan Alou.
Thank you, Ira, here with our man of the match, my good friend, Panther Volleyball alum, Bucks County native, finally showing some libero love. How do you feel?
Oh, man, I feel so great. I love that game. That was so fun. Every time I came off the side, I kept telling my friends, this is some really high-level volleyball we were playing, and I'm always excited to play at this level. So great.
And the Stunners, they have guys like Santiago and Hilling just bouncing balls, and you were taking them in the shoulder. You had a scoop dig. You've been practicing that. I saw you working on it yesterday. What's it feel like to play a Stunners team with so many weapons, but to have a team defensive effort like that.
Yeah, well, I know that I'm going to have to sacrifice my body on a lot of those plays because they hit the ball so hard and so flat. Just like, all right, if I get blown up in the shoulder, I know my team is going to reset it and we're going to get another chance at the point. But I love our system when we play defense, and it makes me feel like, I'm really comfortable in it. Yeah.
A really strong Stunners team. They were on their 5th win in a row coming into this game. You take it to 5, but you pull it out. What does that say about the strength of this Freedom team?
No, I think we're really resilient because we had Matt cramping, we had Tim going into the pole and he was like getting bandaged up. We were hurt, but we just came back in, we kept playing our game, and it's really fun to see the guys just keep pushing like that. Yeah.
9-0, 1 win away from being the only regular season undefeated team in NBA history. Going to give you a chance to say something controversial. Can any team in this league beat you?
I don't think so. I think the way we're playing like this, and we're going to be tough to beat. And but I think every team should say that, So don't come after me, all the fans. Like, I'm trying to. You give me a controversial statement there, and that's my controversial statement. I'm confident in our team. Yeah.
I appreciate it, Ryan. Great win, great game, and they are a tough team to beat. 9-0 now on the season, ready to go 10-0 later this weekend. Ryan Alou, our man of the match in the New Jersey Freedom's 9th win of the season.
Well, maybe we should not have picked against New Jersey in the pregame show. Faux pas on Nick and I. Noah's the only one who picked New Jersey. He gets rewarded with the faith in the boys in blue. New Jersey Freedom is 9-0. They will look to go unbeaten on the year against the 1-7 expansion Seattle Sasquatch. They could very well be 1-8 at that point, as tomorrow the Stunners are back in action at 3 o'clock against Seattle. New Jersey looks to cap their season on Sunday, July 10th. 9 a.m., first match of the day. You won't want to miss that one just to see some history. That's it here from the Pierce Sports Center, a match that lasted 2 hours and 40 minutes. That means our next one, we're going to have a slightly delayed start. It was supposed to be a 6 p.m. matchup between the Las Vegas Ramblers and the Inland Empire Matadors. We'll probably start closer to 6:10, 6:15. You won't want to miss that one as the Ramblers look to remain, just one loss on the year, but the Matadors have won 2 in a row, looking to continue to stay hot. For Nick England, Noah Chast, and our entire crew, I'm Ira Thor. The New Jersey Freedom are 9-0. A great win today over the defending champion Stunners in 5 sets. We'll be back for our 4th match of the day a little bit after 6 p.m. Pacific.